Greetings, O Earthlings! Welcome to Work or Shoot, where we're going to cover this week's SmackDown Live. This week, we're covering the Superstar Shakeup. If we think a segment worked, it's gonna get a work. If we didn't, we'll shoot it down. I'm John with It's a Work, and let's work or shoot.
So AJ Styles started off SmackDown Live tonight, cutting a promo on Shinsuke when he was interrupted by Rusev Day. This set up an impromptu match between AJ and Rusev when Aiden English decided he was going to get involved and make it a DQ. Daniel Bryan, who everyone knows and loves and is just making his return, comes down to make the save. This ends up setting up the main event for later on. So this segment worked for me. It gets Rusev Day some more screen time and everyone loves Rusev Day.
It helps set up the main event too, and you can't go wrong with that to start off the show.
The only thing that didn't really work for me in this situation was that we didn't start with a new acquisition for SmackDown.
I really feel like they should have started off the Superstar Shakeup with a shakeup.
Overall though, this segment still does get a work from me.
Now hold on a minute, players, because right after that, we went to a backstage segment with General Manager Paige, who was doing her best Teddy Long impression as she made a tag team main event for later on in the evening.
Not a whole lot really went on here, but it was still funny to watch Paige try and make an attempt at being Teddy Long and watch Shane do a little Teddy Long dance while Paige comes back in. Overall though, I think I'm going to shoot that segment down. It was quick, it didn't really do a whole lot, and it seemed a little silly. So following that little backstage segment, we ended up going into what would be our first real match of the evening. Shelton Benjamin came out, and now with Chad Gable on Raw, Shelton went on this rant about how he never needed Gable needed him, and how he deserves and needs championship opportunities and competition. Shelton said that Paige had gone on and set up big competition for him this week on SmackDown.
Big competition is exactly what he got when Randy Orton came out and answered his challenge.
But halfway down the ramp, Orton's music would stop and he's interrupted by the brand new United States Champion and first SmackDown Live acquisition, Jeff Hardy.
This set up a match between Jeff Hardy and Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin hasn't been seen in a singles match besides, well,
pretty much none that I can remember in recent memory.
No, not really. Anyway, I was really looking forward to this match because we know what Jeff Hardy can do in the ring, and we've seen Shelton Benjamin on a singles run before.
It was actually really cool too, and there were some real small things that made the match work. At one point, Shelton was working on Jeff Hardy's leg, and Jeff sold this to the point where even running the ropes from an Irish whip is something he couldn't do. The match was pretty solid, and overall, that whole segment worked for me. It builds Shelton a little bit as a brand new singles competitor in the mid-card on SmackDown Live, and it gets Jeff Hardy that brand new screen time being US champ. This one gets a work.
Jeff Hardy got the win, and Jeff Hardy getting a win after winning the US title gets a work from me as well.
Now we have another brand new SmackDown Live acquisition making his appearance. Sort of. Miz made an appearance via satellite or whatever those new promos are that they're doing where they put the stupid little words up, those cell phone things. This kind of ended up being one of those weird spots. I would have really preferred to see Miz on SmackDown Live tonight. Instead, he's FaceTiming with his family. I gotta shoot this one down.
As much as I would have liked to see The Miz on SmackDown Live, I gotta disagree with you. I thought the segment was awesome! The Miz is a heel. Alright, he's not going to show up right away and give the fans what they want. He's going to sit at home, tease the fact that he's going to face Daniel Bryan down the road, but he's not going to give you what you want. I think it worked. It was good for me.
Now because SmackDown's only a 2-hour long show, they don't have all the time that Raw does to throw in those brand new acquisitions. Some of them only got vignettes, some of them only got a quick little graphic up on the screen. This little graphic was for Absolution.
Absolution coming to SmackDown works for me. They're Paige's former team. It makes sense. These girls need screen time. SmackDown might be the place for them to go.
This one works for me too. Especially now that the Riot Squad is on Monday Night Raw, it makes sense to bring the other 3, even though now 2 active competitor team, over to SmackDown Live. Especially, like John had mentioned, since Paige is the GM over there. This can go either way and either make Paige a good heel GM, or it can make her split apart from Absolution and make them brand new big heel characters on the brand.
The next match on SmackDown Live was Jey Uso versus Luke Harper. I really thought that Jey Uso should have had a stronger showing in this match, being that they're going to be facing the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, this one was a little bit weird for me. I did kind of expect for this to be a more competitive match. It makes sense that how they're building the Bludgeon Brothers that it was a squash, but I still expected a little bit more.
Did it work for you?
This one, no. I gotta shoot this one down, especially with the aftermatch segment where the Bludgeon Brothers would end up destroying the Usos and Naomi would run down to save her man, which was weird. It just had high-pitched shrieking and weird things. And for whatever reason, the Bludgeon Brothers decided, you know what? Hey, Naomi's right. This is wrong. We're good guys. Doesn't make any sense for me.
If this segment was just the squash match alone, I would say it worked for me. But because of that aftermatch segment, I'm going to shoot it down as well.
We ended up coming back from commercial, and Sin Cara is standing in the ring, which is a little weird because I haven't seen Sin Cara doing anything in quite some time.
Can we change the mood lighting in this place? Because Sin Cara hasn't been seen on TV in a long time, and I'd like to get that Sin Cara thing going on here.
We'll see. So as Sin Cara is waiting for his opponent, the next thing you hear is Samoa Joe's music. And this was huge for SmackDown, and this one seriously surprised me. Joe made his way down to the ring, and this was really just a good little squash match. Sin Cara didn't get in really much offense, and when he did, Joe was quick to make sure it stopped. Then after the match was over, grabbed a mic and cut a little promo. Joe started to talk about how people on SmackDown were all coddled and they were treated more like children than anything else, made to believe that they're the best. It's the land of opportunity at SmackDown Live. And Joe said, that's not the case anymore. Joe's here, he's taking over, he's doing what he has to do. Then he kind of brought up Roman Reigns and the Backlash thing, where he had claimed that if Brock does beat Roman, he's going to pick up the pieces and destroy Roman at Backlash. But if for some reason Roman beats Brock, he's going to take the Intercontinental title and then the Universal title and put it around his waist. I'm not sure exactly what Joe was talking about here, but he ended up making a save, I think. Believe that.
I think Samoa Joe is talking about the fact that he's going to beat Roman Reigns at Backlash, take Seth Rollins' Intercontinental title, and then put the Universal title right around his waist. Makes sense to me.
Around Seth's waist?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Whatever, Joe. Overall, this whole thing gets a work for me.
Gets work for me as well. The next little thing that happened, or should I say big thing that happened on SmackDown Live, even though it didn't last long, there was a promo video for the new acquisition to SmackDown Live, Sanity. The only thing that I didn't like about this is the fact that later on in the night, they revealed that Nikki Cross is not coming to SmackDown Live with Sanity. Sanity coming to SmackDown Live works for me. I just wish Nikki Cross was coming with them.
I feel the same. The promo was cool, and I wasn't exactly sure it was Sanity at first. Later, when it was confirmed and they only showed Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, and Eric Young on the graphic, I was a little upset that Nikki Cross wasn't there. I thought that would have really made the whole thing seem full. Now granted, I'm still really glad to see this NXT team be called up to the main roster and see what they can do. I'm hoping that eventually they can give the Bludgeon Brothers a run for their money. They have similar sort of gimmicks. I think it'd be entertaining TV. This one gets a work for me. Now in a quick little backstage segment with Daniel Bryan, we had another brand new SmackDown Live acquisition show up. Big Cass, which kind of upsets me. I still wish that would have been Colin Cassidy. In the end though, this segment was fine. It didn't really do a whole lot for me, and all Cass said was, "So you're what all the fuss is about, little man?" or something along those lines. Didn't really do it for me. Gotta shoot this one down.
Yeah, I don't know. This segment didn't really work for me either. Big Cass coming back is cool and everything, but I would have preferred Colin Cassidy, and going into something with Daniel Bryan, it seemed like everybody was cutting a promo on Daniel Bryan tonight. It gets a shoot. Celebrate good times, come on. What? The next segment on SmackDown Live was the Melibration. I mean, I was excited. Carmella, the new SmackDown Women's Champion. She took out Charlotte Flair. What's not to like about this segment? Come on!
Yeah, I mean, this segment I guess was alright. It didn't do too much for me, but I'm still going to give it a work in the end. Carmella so far is really making that heel attitude work, and she's been doing a great job with it on SmackDown Live. I really hope to see that progress. The only thing that was weird is she really put herself over, and then when the fans would cheer, she made this extra effort to tell them to stop, which it didn't really seem organic, and it seemed like even though she was telling them to stop, she still was really liking that they were cheering for her. That was weird for me, but overall the segment was great. It makes Carmella look good. Now with that said, enter Charlotte, who decides she's going to come out and interrupt this wonderful Melibration. Charlotte got on the mic and said that what she thinks happened here is that Carmella had people like the Iconics come out, and that helped destroy her. But like Charlotte said, she knows the dirtiest player in the game, and it takes one player to know another player. So she told Carmella flat out, she respects what she did and what she had to do to win the championship. But Charlotte also said it's a lot harder to stay on top than it is to get on top. So this led to the Iconics coming down to the ring. Charlotte had a little spat with them, they kind of mouthed words back and forth. Ended up with Charlotte taking off her robe and attacking the Iconics, which didn't go well for Charlotte, which ended up making Becky Lynch run down to make the save. Again, this whole thing left Carmella out of the picture in her own celebration. Didn't really make sense considering it was her overall segment. But we did get a match out of this, which ended up being Charlotte Flair going one-on-one with Billie Kay, which was actually a little confusing. I thought it was a tag match at first, and the match didn't even start on TV. We came back from commercial and we're mid-match already.
I was just really happy because Carmella was on commentary with Cleopatra.
Yeah, she named the women's championship Cleopatra. Now that she doesn't have Frankie anymore, her briefcase, she had the name of the championship.
Well done. Makes sense, Travis.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, Charlotte ended up beating Billie Kay with a figure 8.
After the match, my girl Carmella got in the ring, attacked Charlotte Flair, and then Becky Lynch comes in trying to even the odds, but the Iconics get back in and take over. Then, out of nowhere, we hear a very familiar theme song.
Asuka has made her arrival on SmackDown Live. This is another huge acquisition for SmackDown, and they're really doing well in this shakeup. Once Asuka gets down to the ring, Carmella splits. Super smart, good heel work, makes her stay strong. It did end up with the Iconics taking a beating, but the faces stood up there looking strong, even though someone's a pretty big heel fan here, I guess.
Carmella's great. She escaped. She didn't get beat up by Asuka, and she shouldn't, so gets work from me.
She will. It's still a work. Again, coming back from commercial, we had another little vignette showing our next acquisition for SmackDown Live, Gallows and Anderson, the Club. Whether or not they're still the Club is beyond me. I think there's just Gallows and Anderson now. I really don't know. But regardless, they're coming to SmackDown Live, which kind of might be interesting if they do something with AJ.
Too sweet.
Too sweet. Gets to work.
We don't just set the bar, we are the bar. To SmackDown Live. They helped to fill out the tag division. I don't think any of us can complain about that. The tag division on SmackDown has been a little repetitive with the Usos, the New Day. I mean, you got the Bludgeon Brothers, which is cool, but this is going to really help SmackDown Live's tag division.
The only thing that kind of bothered me with this is they might have done this a little too soon. They're scheduled for a match with Raw Tag Team Championships at the Greatest Royal Rumble. How they plan to do that, I don't know. It's supposed to be the Bar versus Matt and Bray for the Raw Tag Team Championships. That obviously can't happen now, or we at least know Matt and Bray are going to win. Regardless, this gets a work, except for the little dumb video thing that they did with the logos and stuff.
God, I hate those videos.
Yeah, that's bad. It's bad.
So next we go to a backstage segment where the New Day is meeting with new SmackDown acquisition, R-Truth.
I actually missed this segment, so I don't really know what happened here. I just know that R-Truth being on SmackDown is weird. Why they would really show it, that could have been done with a tweet, I think. Nothing against R-Truth, but that could have been done with a tweet.
His bad, y'all. He missed that segment. I'll take this one from here. R-Truth in the back with the New Day. They're all getting their boogie on and, you know, doing R-Truth and New Day stuff, whatever that might be. And then Ty Dillinger walks into the segment, which is interesting. He hasn't been doing much on SmackDown Live, so works for me. And then New Day says to Ty Dillinger, so you guys know each other? And they look at each other and they say, yeah, we know each other. And then they do some crazy handshake and they're best friends all of a sudden. So maybe we're going to see a Perfect Truth tag team in the future. I really hope not, but that looks like a possibility. We'll see what happens. The segment gets work for me, though.
So we've actually got a lot of acquisitions to SmackDown, and this right here is probably one of my favorites, Andrade Cien Almas. This guy is a megastar in NXT, just coming off of his NXT Championship loss, which obviously meant he was coming to the main roster at some point. It's kind of how it works. I said that in our Superstar Shakeup video, and I'm saying it again now. Regardless, I'm excited to see the guy here. Massive heel, gonna be great for SmackDown Live, and unlike Sanity with Nikki Cross, he's bringing Zelina Vega.
Yeah, this segment was awesome. I mean, I marked out hard for Cien. The guy is an impressive in-ring worker. The heel work that he's been doing on NXT, just second to none. Vega as his manager. We're going to see awesome things for him. I hope he at least gets a mid-card title run in the near future.
Definitely
gets a work. Last but not least, we had our main event match, which pitted Rusev Day against none other than AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan.
This seemed like it was going to be a good match going into it, and really, it was. Great match. I really can't complain. They kind of went back and forth. Everybody got in what they needed to. It was a good main event. The match was pretty much just kind of back and forth. Eventually, Daniel Bryan would get the hot tag. Rusev would tag in at the same time. Daniel Bryan does what he does, destroys Rusev. Daniel Bryan gets the running knee on Rusev, and I can see out of the corner there, AJ Styles is sitting up, and who's down there but Shinsuke Nakamura right in the...
Wow.
Another great opportunity. Looked great. I absolutely loved it. So the match was great, and Shinsuke is such a great heel, and I really didn't think I'd be that receptive to him as a heel, because I like him so much as a babyface. But he's an even better heel on the main roster than he is a face. I don't understand it, but I love it.
Nobody would have thought that Shinsuke was such a good heel before he started doing this. I mean, he's such a better heel than he is a babyface. You know who else is a great heel? Big Cass, who happened to come out during the main event and hits Daniel Bryan with a big boot to end the match in a disqualification. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this worked for me better than I thought it would. I didn't like seeing Big Cass in the backstage thing earlier, but watching him come out and attack Bryan made that actually kind of pay off where I didn't think it was going to go somewhere. It actually gave you a payoff, and it looks like he might do something. The whole night was great. SmackDown gets a massive work from me, and I'm excited to see what happens now with the brand new blue brand.
The brand new blue brand. Say that 10 times fast. That was cool. Anyway, gets a massive work from me as well. Shut up, Saxton.
That's it for this week's SmackDown Work or Shoot. If you liked what we had to say, or didn't, let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell icon so you get notified when we upload a video next time.
You can follow us at Twitter at IAW Wrestling, and also be sure to like our page on Facebook at facebook.com/itsAwork. I'm John.
And I'm Travis.
Thanks for watching Work or Shoot. We'll see you next time.